Hello everybody, welcome to Also Rusty Bucket. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already and drop a like on this video. I think I'm going to set a goal of getting this channel to 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I don't know how, ambitious of a goal that might be, but I figured I'd set it. So 100K by the end of the year, subscribe to join and help me reach that goal, I suppose. I'm wearing some new Jordan 1s, and I realized as soon as I got them that I don't really have a great outfit that actually fits these shoes. So I guess I'm going to have to get that. I don't really have anything to say other than that, but just like, shit. I need an outfit to pair with this. This is the best that I have. So today's video is not a recap. This is the first time I have done a non-recap since the playoffs have started. And you'd think I would have done a video on the Celtics and their situation, and honestly, I probably should have, but I didn't. So today we're talking about the Blazers and Damian Lillard, and more specifically, his want to have Jason Kidd as his next head coach. I'm looking at a headline right now from Yahoo Sports that says Damian Lillard on Portland's head coach opening. Jason Kidd is the guy that I want. Jason Kidd is currently the assistant on the Los Angeles Lakers, an assistant coach on the Lakers, and pretty much as soon as Jason was signed by the Lakers as an assistant, almost everybody expected him to replace Frank Vogel. Like they were like, yeah, he's just getting the lesser job, knowing he's going to get the better job eventually. That hasn't happened. Frank Vogel led the Lakers to a championship, and I think his job is relatively secure. So Jason Kidd could very well be looking for a different head coach and or a different job to be a head coach. Now, it's worth mentioning that according to this article, both Lillard and Kidd know each other really well. They have a relationship that goes back a few years, and Lillard genuinely respects Kidd's basketball acumen. I don't know what that word means, and knowledge of the game, and he believes he can take his game and the team to the next level. So he wants Kidd to be his head coach because he has a personal established relationship with him. Now, the problem with that is the reason why Terry Stotts stayed around so long is that Damian Lillard had a personal connection to him as well. So we're really seeing the same bad pattern repeat itself for, once again, not a good NBA head coach. But, you know, at least Terry Stotts was like a genuinely really good person. Jason Kidd, that's quite a bit much more in the air. So I very much do not want to see Jason Kidd hired as the head coach of the Blazers. And keeping it on the court, when Kidd was the head coach of the Bucks, he did not do a good job. Now, once again, a superstar caliber player got attached to Jason Kidd. I don't know what it is about him, but Giannis was very upset when Jason Kidd was fired. He wanted him to be his head coach in the long term, but of course that did not work out. And in Jason Kidd's tenure in Milwaukee, he did not do a good job. He told Jabari Parker not to shoot threes. He made Giannis a point guard, which I will say showcased some of his ability as a superstar player, but like he was outright going for, oh yeah, Giannis is a point guard, which his creating ability was not that good, so not really. Just in general, he had a very old school mindset that was not translating to winning, and that's why he got fired. And as soon as Mike Budenholzer was hired, alongside a couple of free agent additions, specifically Brook Lopez was the big one, that propelled the Bucks to the 1 seed in the first year with Bud and the second year, and this year I believe they were third. So even though Mike Budenholzer has his issues adjusting in the playoffs, it's pretty damn clear that moving on from Jason Kidd was the right move for that franchise. And I really would hate to see the Blazers go from Terry Stotts, who, if you did not know, they mutually agreed to part ways. I feel like whether Stotts wanted to or not, he was not going to have that job. So I guess mutually is the best way of making it out to be. But with that happening, I would like to see, I don't know, an average NBA head coach at the very least take up that spot. Not a below average to bad head coach in Jason Kidd. Steve Clifford was just recently dismissed from the Orlando Magic, and while he does not have the offensive system that I would like Dame and the Blazers to have, he is a very good discipline and defense head coach, good at making his team not make too many mistakes. He did the same thing with the Charlotte Hornets. Like, both times they were towards the bottom of the league in fouls and turnovers, all the little things that you're supposed to get right. Steve Clifford makes sure his teams get right. But defensively or offensively, his system is not exactly complex, and I have wanted the Blazers to adopt a more advanced and free-flowing offensive system, and they've really just been like, Dame and CJ do stuff, and if that doesn't work, fuck. Like, that's the extent of it. But at least, Steve Clifford would be great for them on defense, and discipline-wise, offense would still probably be about the same, but at least you'd have one side of the floor correct, whereas Terry Stotts had neither side of the floor correct. So at least you'd get one. And on top of that, the Blazers' offense is not terrible, to say the least. I think it could be better, but it's still very good because they have the talent to be that. But the point here is, the title of this video is like, Damian Lillard is his own worst enemy. I can't see any own worst enemy thing than keeping Terry Stotts around for years, and it's his influence that kept him around to begin with, and then asking for Jason Kidd to be the next head coach. Now, this is not to say that Damian Lillard, not to take anything away from him, but really he should just, even though the front office has not done the best job, he should just let the front office make this decision, because it's pretty clear that his idea of what he needs coaching-wise and what the Blazers need coaching-wise is not correct if he thinks that Terry Stotts and now Jason Kidd are the guys for the job. That is pretty damn clear that he does not really appreciate or understand what it is that his team and he really needs. Like, he had a press conference after losing Game 6 of the Nuggets where he was asked about changes and stuff like that, like what changes the team could make, and he said, clearly we're not good enough, and he expects changes to happen. And I also felt that was him being like, okay, cool, Terry Stotts is gone. I don't think he realizes that Jason Kidd is just Terry Stotts with a new coat of paint or whatever. Like, that's not an improvement, really. Maybe a little bit of an improvement, but not a drastic one, which this team could desperately use. So definitely his own worst enemy in that regard. I would hope that the Blazers don't take what Dame wants and instead get what Dame needs, because what Dame needs is someone like Steve Clifford, or just a head coach who is better than bad. not even better than average, really, just better than bad. That's all that the Blazers really need. The Blazers are going to have a lot of interesting changes this offseason. Of course, we've seen the CJ trade rumors. I don't know specifically what that trade looks like. I'm eventually going to be doing a video on the Blazers. Don't know how soon, because there's a lot of things to talk about recently, playoff basketball and such. But yeah, the Blazers are in an interesting spot. Please don't hire Jason Kidd. And Dame, maybe let your front office handle this shit and just hope that they have your best interest in mind and do their jobs correctly. Not to say that they've given you reason to have that hope, but being that you've been so trustful in Terry Stotts and now Jason Kidd for some reason, I think it's fair that you give them that trust. That being said, Dame should ask out, because regardless of what they do, I don't think they're winning a championship, but hey, obviously they're going to try and bring it back with Dame and whatever they need to make the team better. Anyways, that was it. Get ready for post-game recap at like 9:30, 10. And yeah, goodbye.